What's up, y'all? Shuffle. And today's video for Darkest Dungeon 2 is centered on the dev stream that just happened about an hour ago. This was from Red Hook. They streamed it on their Twitch channel, and they went over the update that is coming out tomorrow. So that's the first bit of juicy news. The driving update comes out tomorrow on March 16th. They didn't give a time, I believe, but I'll definitely be streaming it when it drops. Hopefully it drops at a decent time. And as far as what happened in the stream, they played the game for a bit, showed off the update, and I'll show some pictures and video and stuff like that. And they talked about some details, answered some questions. So it was a really fun stream to be a part of. So what happens with the update? So it comes out tomorrow, and the rationale behind changing the driving mechanics is they wanted the possibility of things to happen. And I think that that's a good word to use for it, because in DD1, when you're walking down the hallways, because the driving is synonymous with the hallways, you know, whether you like it or not, that's what it is. But the hallways in DD1 always had the chance of something. You know, if you didn't scout it, there was a chance of a battle, a chance of curio, a chance of a trap, right? There's always stuff that could happen. So they wanted to bring that back. And from what they were showing, it looked pretty cool. So the roads themselves have individual nodes now as you're driving. Some of them are scouted, some of them are not, and they have different ones. I think there's one called Oblivion Tear, which increases loathing. There's a battle, and then there's one that either lowers your wagon's wheel durability or its armor. So we have to talk about the wagon here too in a little bit. They didn't show every pet that was available like on camera, but they showed a few that they had unlocked on Michaela's file. But the ones they went through that you can unlock, they showed them on screen, but I might miss one. They had the wolf cub, there's an owlet, there's a bunny, there's a baby croc, there's a snake, so it's like a shield breaker, you know, pet snake, which is cool. And then there's Shambler, like a baby Shambler. So there might be one more I missed, but those were the ones I remember. And the pets all do different things that change how you play the game with your team, which is pretty cool. So the rabbit, for instance, I believe gives you like max HP per food item that you have in your wagon. So if you hoard a bunch of slime mold, you know, suddenly slime mold isn't worth tossing. You keep it and you get max HP or whatever. So really cool, interesting ideas, and they're cute. The only thing that I guess kind of is unfortunate is that the pets themselves don't like appear in battle. I was watching Bear talk about it for a sec too, and I really like this idea where it's like the pets could just hang from the wagon on the side, you know, while you're in battle, just so you could see them. It would take some work, obviously. You know, it's a lot of work to implement something like that, but it would be cool. I think people would appreciate it, but who knows? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Some other things that weren't directly touched on that I think we noticed during the stream was relic and bauble stacks, I believe, look higher. I don't know the exact amount, but that's a thing. There are different valley mashes. Michaela fought 4 of the regular ghouls. Not ghouls. God, what are they called? Lost souls. There you go. So four like lost souls, and the one in front I think tried to disease her, but it might have been hypochondriac. I'm not sure. Other things they mentioned was that denial is now 2 regions instead of 3, and I think Tyler said that you can still get a max region denial later, but they're experimenting with a shorter chapter, which is cool. And that was, I think, a really good thing to do in early access. I wish they did this earlier, but you know, it's early access, so try things, right? And having a shorter region could be pretty cool. So because denial is much shorter, you start off with 5 mastery. This is because you basically lose a bunch of mastery from not having the final region. Interesting, you know, but good change if they're gonna do something like that. Road fights have no time limit. I think it's another thing they're testing, which is great because road fights honestly suck ass. No one likes them being 5 turns, not a single person. They had nothing to the game, so it's a good thing that they're gone, at least for now. And then let's see, wagon. So okay, the wagon changes that I've listed. Sorry, I wrote these down like in order of my notes as I was watching the stream, but the wagon now has 2 sets of tokens. It has armor tokens and it has wheel tokens. And you get 2 different fights if they end up breaking. So when you're driving down the road, you hit like something such as a rough patch, which will destroy one of your wheel tokens. And if you hit like a trap, you'll lose armor tokens. For armor tokens, when you start combat, if you have full armor tokens, I believe you start with block. Not sure if this happens too if you have less than max, but you know, it's a cool thing to have. It makes you prioritize keeping the wagon topped off. And I'm not sure if there's a benefit to having max wheel tokens, but if you run out of armor or wheel tokens on the wagon from hitting too many, you know, bad paths, then, and not fixing them, you can fix it at ends. But if you run out of either one of those tokens, you get ambushed by pillagers. And the combat is a bit different, slightly different, depending on which one you're dealing with. So when you break down with your wagon, you have to spend turns fixing it. So one of the characters gets a fix token, so they spend their turn fixing it. It's a lot like when you have field surgeon and stuff, and it, you know, goes on your turn. It's actually closer to pyromania or whatever. When you throw the fire bottle, that eats up your entire turn. That's what the repair tokens do. So if you are doing the armor repair during combat, you get a vulnerable token. And I believe they said if you do a wheel repair during combat, then you get stress, or someone else gets stressed. Like they're afraid of being left behind, something like that. So makes sense. Pretty cool. We'll see what happens with those fights. I believe they said Antiquarian can show up as well. So it's just pillager fights. So if you want to take extra fights, you know, break your wagon, go ahead. One of the things that I noticed during the stream were that trinkets seemed to be cheaper. I don't know if that was an upgrade they had or not, but there were the class hero trinkets in one of the shops, and they were like 65 baubles instead of, you know, 100 or 75 or wherever they are. And there was no like slashed price, so it wasn't like Merchant Guild seal. At least that's how I understood it. But other changes they talked about, Infernal changes eventually, but they do want to keep working on Infernal. More visual changes eventually, like, you know, extra biomes, different ends, stuff like that. They didn't say specifically what, but they said those are, you know, ideas that are possible. Then something else that I need to address. Actually, I'll say this for the end. But other things they mentioned, there are no current plans for PvP, but it's not impossible. So no Butcher Circus remake yet, if they ever do it. Let's see. Oh, the wagon tokens. Okay. So wagon tokens, you can upgrade the capacity of them at the altar, which means it sounds like the wagon and the pet sections of the altar are getting some pretty heavy additions. We'll have to see what those are. I believe they said patch notes will be tomorrow with the updates. So they're probably finalizing it. They're probably like really close to being done, if not done already. They're probably just doing some bug fixes if they found any. And as for the important thing, well, it's all important, but the most important thing here is that they did confirm again. I mean, they said this before, but I asked again just to make sure that, you know, it was on record, and they did confirm it. Chris did say this, but they are not going to do another update until 1.0 after this one. So we get this one tomorrow, and then about 7 weeks of silence, which is going to feel like an eternity. And I'm kind of nervous, honestly, not for the game, but for, you know, myself, because I'm going to be working pretty hard coming up here. Yeah, they gave us some reassurance. They said that they are working on all of the 1.0 changes, like they're making a lot of progress there, and they are farther ahead than it seems, or however you want to say that. They, you know, they're working on a bunch of things at a time. It's not all 25 of them or whatever work on the same thing at once. It's, you know, different departments, different teams. They have the art team, the balance team, like mechanics, QA, stuff like that. So they have a lot of people doing different stuff. So they're trying to finish all of their 1.0 stuff and get it ready. So hopefully they give us some more info soon. Like, even if we don't get an update in terms of content, it would be nice if they give us a big change list sometime in April. That'd be pretty cool. So I believe that's it for this. So pretty interesting. This is more of a mechanics update than a super flavorful, you know, big content hype drop thing like Vestal was, or Bounty Hunter and the Shroud and stuff like that. But in terms of the game, I'll stream it a few times. I'm trying to not burn myself out on DD right now, because I still love the game. I'm still going to play the hell out of it, but it's like this close to release, and between me doing testing and stuff like that, I really don't want to burn myself out playing it. So I think that's it. I gotta put this video together and plan some stuff for the next couple days. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you're thinking down below in the comments. If you're excited, if you're not excited, I guess, and whatever else you're thinking. We'll be playing this tomorrow when it drops, and definitely a few times over the next week. And I gotta make another channel update video soon. So that's what we're doing. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.